what we'll do is, in light of all that's taking place in the market, there are a bunch of earnings that have come in thick and fast as well. The first management on our show joins in. ACME Solar surged in trade yesterday on the back of a strong set of first quarter numbers. Remember, the company has been guiding for more than 7,000 crores in terms of an EBITDA by 2030. And the current numbers are dovetailing that trend. So revenue saw 65% uptick, while profit rose multifold, aided by other income as well. Nikhil Dhingra, the CEO of the company, now joins in. Thanks a lot, Nikhil, for joining in. You know, the growth drivers that you had earlier spoken about for the company, one would be the increased capacity that you will constantly keep adding up all the way up until 2030, 2032. You have that path to getting there. And the second will be, you know, increased supply or increased utilization for the PPAs that you've signed, etc. On both those accounts, could you give us a sense on where you stand versus what you had penciled in at the end of the previous financial year, and give us your guidance for FY26, increased capacity, increased utilization, and the PPAs that you've signed?
Sure, Nikhil. So we have commissioned more than 1,700 megawatts in the last year, and we have a capacity of around 4 gigawatts more to execute, out of which we are targeting to execute 2 gigawatt in the next calendar year and 2 gigawatt year after that. So most of the PPAs we have won, they have been there with us from last year. So in terms of the net signing, there are two stages in our business in terms of the PPA utilization. One is getting the bid, and second is signing the PPA. So we had a very good up move in terms of the signing of PPAs this quarter. We signed more than 550 megawatts of solar and FDRE contracts and 550 megawatt hour of battery contract. So a very good quarter for us in terms of the PPA signing. And in terms of the generation, our CUF is up by 107% from last year, same quarter. That is aided by the increase in the capacity. And next year also, we are targeting the same kind of capacity increase in the next calendar year. And that will be further increase the revenue, because they are higher tariff projects and with the higher Capex projects also. So that will help us increase the growth trajectory to the levels you mentioned.
Okay, all right, Nikhil. What about the PPA, prices that which you'll have contracted at? Say if you compare this year's pricing with last year's pricing, how different is it?
So, like I mentioned, our pipeline has been stable in terms of the tariff. So, weighted average tariff for our portfolio is around 3.5 rupees. And the tariffs vary depending on the type of the project. So, an FDRE will fetch you higher than 4 rupees. Solar plus less hours of storage will fetch you around 3 plus something. So the weighted average tariff remains at 3.5 for the portfolio. We have won a standalone BESS, which is a lease-based tender, which we spoke about last time we discussed. So that is a lease-based model. So other than that, our tariff remains at around 3.5 rupees. And tariffs, of course, have come down in terms of overall industry trend, but that is in sync with the falling Capex prices, which has led to the fall in the tariff, which is good for the utilities and good for the signing of the future PPAs.
What about your Capex plan for this year? You've mentioned, you're looking at increasing capacity big time, looking at the storage project as well. So what is the total Capex you've lined up for this expansion? And for this year, what will it be?
So for this year, we are targeting to release the purchase orders and doing the Capex of around 12 to 14,000 crores. And we have already released purchase orders of around 6.5, 7,000 crores. We discussed about closing a large battery contract of around 3.1 gigawatt hour. We have closed all the long.
All right, we've got him on a scratchy line. Okay, go ahead, Nikhil.
Sorry, okay. I was saying that we have tied up bulk of the long lead items and all the Capex for the batteries because we are trying to commission the battery project earlier this year as part of our overall project. So a Capex of 12 to 14,000 crores is what we are targeting for this year. The timeline of the spending may go by 2 to 3 months, but definitely the orders will be closed in this year of 12 to 14,000 crores.
Got it. So 12 to 14,000 crore capex, of which 6 to 7,000 crores you've already signed up for. This is your battery project. Speaking of the battery project itself, you've secured some approvals for early commissioning of the BESS that may enhance your revenues in the short term. Could you give us a sense of what the opportunity here is? Because, BESS is classified as a storage asset and not generation. So under FDRE, early power dispatch is not really restricted by PPA norms. What could the initial enhanced revenue on this be, the opportunity by selling via BESS?
Yeah, so this is something we are doing it as a part of phased execution of our FDRE projects. We have around 1.8 to 2 gigawatts of central connected projects, which essentially means that our connectivity is ready and the AC infrastructure is already there. So we are commissioning our battery storage projects at those plants where we already have the infrastructure ready. So this will help us in terms of the early commissioning of the battery portion of the FDRE for our ongoing projects. So that is something we are targeting to do in phased manner over this calendar year and early part of the next calendar year. So that is what we are trying to do. What we will, in terms of the revenue, what we'll try and do is operationalize this and try and sell till the commissioning on a merchant basis. So that's something we will do. In terms of the revenue sizing, that is still preliminary. We will be able to give you guidance as we move forward. But it will substantially, because it's around 2.5 gigawatt hour of battery capacity, which we are trying and operationalizing in the next 6 to 8 months.
Could you give us a rough estimate on that enhanced revenue? You said it's preliminary, but I mean, you have the rough idea of the capacity in which you are putting BESS. You have the rough idea of the prevailing prices. Even if those numbers sustain for a couple of months, I suppose you would be making some money, right? Back of the envelope, what would those numbers look like?
So in terms of, I can give you the units we can do, right, and maybe the hourly prices difference which is currently prevailing. So let's say if we are doing 2.5 gigawatt hour. Let's selling 1 hour of storage, we'll be selling 2.5 gigawatt hour. Or if we are selling 2 hours, we will be selling 5 gigawatt hour, annual basis. So let's say if we do this for 6 to 9 months, considering our rest of the FDRE will be also getting commission. So then we will move to the PPA tariff. So that much units we will do. And in terms of the on a 12-month basis, so you can adjust the monthly revenue basis that. And in terms of the hourly difference, so the peak power tariffs currently are prevailing at around 8.5, 9 rupees, give and take the seasons. So if you subtract the charging cost, that much margin we can make out of these units.
All right, Nikhil, we look forward to having a chat with you. Wishing you all the best for the remainder of this fiscal. And we'll have a chat maybe sometime before the next quarterly numbers. But a small